Hey guys, I'm in a competitive niche, and in my target blog post, amongst other content, I have a QR code image that if scanned goes to this blog post page. Would it help if the blog post would it help the blog post if I backlink this QR code image? If so, how would you approach mass embeds of the image file or some pbns, etc.? I've not tested that. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I like to use QR codes on images for Google business profile stuff because the Google bot will read it and know that it goes to a URL. So it's just a little bit of a way to kind of, link images to a location or to an entity, essentially. That's part of the reason that I do that. And also because I have not done any testing with backlinking to a QR code image or doing any kind of like mass embeds or publication distribution, etc., to see if that has any benefit. It's worth a test, but that's what I would do is set up a test and determine. I mean, there's a number of things you could do, right? I have no idea if it would do anything to build links to a QR code. I have no idea, but it's definitely worth a test. I would probably test with a few. Like if I were to set up a test like that, I would probably, take a page, create a page that has very low competition, even like with SEO Intelligence Agency, they do a lot of single variable tests, and they'll like publish a page with gibberish as the keyword, like, you know what I mean? Like some sort of just made up word so that you can deter and test different things, targeting that type of a word to see what happens in Google's index with that, if that makes sense. So that's kind of something that you could do with QR codes, right? To be testing different methods. One, does doing a mass distribution of a QR code, does that help SEO when the QR code is a link? I don't know, because I've not tested that. I've not read anything about that. It's probably been done, but I've not tested it myself. So you might even be able to find some case studies or, blog posts about a test similar to that, where you can probably get some information. I always recommend testing anyway. I mean, just the same as I tell everybody that when I coach, don't just take my word for it, right? Test it yourself. And so even if you do come across some case studies or articles or anything about that, I would encourage you to also test and see if you can duplicate their results, right? But I would do a few tests like that. Number one, maybe create a QR code that links to a page that's very low competition or something that you make up just for purely testing purposes, and then run a bunch of backlinks to the QR code image URL and see if that does anything. I don't know that it will, but it's worth a test. Then you could also do another one where you, a different page, right? Optimize for something very low competition, and then have a QR code link to that page, and then do the mass distribution of the QR code and see, does it cause movement? And that's essentially how I would do it to test it. Just test on some stuff that is, not really anything live, but just something that you can test on and see what kind of results you can get. I mean, it's definitely interesting test and document it. That's the kind of thing that you can create a nice little case study out of, and create a blog post and generate traffic for other people that are interested in that kind of a test, right? There's a lot of things you can do with that, but I would definitely set up a test. I don't have any data on that myself. So hopefully that makes sense.